Hey, great Tuesday afternoon. We are awaiting the start of the special call board meeting. Should be interesting. And me pescaron en el momento de la comida. Woohoo! Let's wait more folks to get on. Again, it should be interesting. Will the district rid itself of Baltasar Salazar as soon as we determine that it's actually going to happen? Get this going. Still waiting for it to start. I think it is the only item that is on the agenda. Oh, it's going to be interesting. La cara sabe cuando. Gerardo y Pastor, nada me faltará. I will say, Hitler, der Führer Biden, is one of the faithful folks that actually watch my shows all week long, even on Sundays. There's also a city commission meeting going on. Crazy. That is fine. But I think the meeting that we want to get to is the BISD board meeting because again, it's going to be very impactful. I have a couple of friends out there that have asked me to uh, share with them the results of the meeting. Interested in wanting to know if he's going to stay on or not stay on. One moment, please. Was my attorney calling, asking where in Brownsville they sell comic books, and so it's going to be interesting. Uh, it's a great surprise. We sort of announced it this morning, Paul. We're going to have a show to follow up what was going on with the district to see if they were going to actually terminate Baltasar Salazar or keep him on. Still waiting for the meeting to start. Hola, Kenina, 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 Kenina. Still not started yet. It's supposed to start at 5:30. Hasn't started yet. It's Shirley. Hola, it's Shirley. Buenas tardes, Erasmo. Julia, buenas tardes. Provecho, gracias. Estoy comiendo jamoncito, queso y encontré un dip. Creo que lo compré en HEB. Se llama Street Corn Dip. Street Corn Dip. No me puedo ni ver. pretty dang good. I called a while back. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Good evening, good evening, good evening. People are offering me comics. Do you think they'll take it into private room and not discuss in public, knowing you will comment? I'm not sure exactly what they will be doing, but because it's an open item for discussion, I don't think that they've reserved having it to be taken out to the back. I'm hoping they don't do the coward thing. We'll see what happens. No masks in schools. According to Governor Abbott, no masks in schools. I think IDEA has already set
We're
up
going to go ahead and call this meeting to order.
Let's see.
We're going to go ahead and start with a moment of silence. Everyone, please stand and join me in a moment of silence.
It's starting.
Thank you. Pledge of allegiance, Ms. Garza.
We'll see. Yeah, or if they would have had a performing arts center.
Roll call. Everyone is present. Ms. Pat.
Item 5, recommend approving the agenda of the special call board meeting of Tuesday, May 18, 2021, with any corrections or deletions. Motion to approve.
I second. Ms. Pat.
Please vote. Motion passes 7-0 unanimous. Roman numeral 6, presentation regarding RFQ 21-131 board legal advisor services as required
Love you,
on the specifications of the request for qualifications.
Mr. President and board members, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Bruce Payne. And just as a reminder that this meeting is being held just as we did with the tax attorneys.
Good evening, Board President Mr. Garcia, Superintendent Dr. Gutierrez, and distinguished board members. Tonight, we will be completing the final phase of the ranking process for RFQ number 21-131 Board Legal Advisor Services. The firms have drawn for their presentation positions, and we will be bringing the teams in to the boardroom in that order. We have asked that as soon as they conclude their presentations, that they please exit the boardroom and wait in the designated areas. If I may direct the committee to your packages that were issued at the last workshop, the ranking sheets that are found within that package, those are the ones that you will be using to rank all presentations. Also, if you please remove from your package the law firm of Feldman & Feldman. They have officially withdrawn their submission. May I also remind the committee that the total minutes for the presentation is 30, 10 for presentation, 20 minutes for question and answer. Also in front of you, we have placed the presentations for tonight in the order of the presentation. The only law firm that does not have a presentation available is the office of Mr. Jerry Lennon. If no further questions, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Miguel Salinas.
If you all are ready to proceed, we're ready to proceed. The only thing that perhaps the board would like to do procedurally, because if you remember the last time when we had the tax advisors, I introduced all the board members to both groups. If maybe we could bring a representative from each of the groups and introduce the board members before we proceed, and that way maybe we can save a little time, but that's up to the board.
Go ahead, Mr. Salinas.
Okay. Can we do that, Ms. Peña?
Why ask Miss Peña? Amen, brother. Yeah, they do. Hey,
No,
Julie!
we'll do that when they do their presentation. We'll give them that opportunity. I'm going to introduce them to the board members.
It was cool when I was there.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here tonight. What we wanted to do before we start the formal presentations, I wanted to introduce the interview committee, which will be our school board of trustees. I will give each one of you, when you make your presentations, an opportunity to introduce yourself and your team.
Terminating
But I'd like to introduce the board, which consists of the interview committee, starting with, on my left, board member Jessica Gonzalez, board member Denise Garza, board assistant secretary Daniela Lopez Valdez, board vice president Chrissy Roca-Tipton, board president Eddie Garcia, board secretary Drew Brown, and board member Minerva Peña. Also present on the dais is our superintendent of schools, Dr. Rene Gutierrez, our board secretary, Patricia Perez, and our the superintendent secretary, Minerva Almanza. Good luck to all of you, and have a good evening. Thank you.
The first presenter will be the law firm of O'Hanlon, Dermuth, and Castillo.
Good evening, sir. You could introduce yourself and your team, please.
Yes, sir, I will. So, my name is Benjamin Castillo. I'm an attorney with O'Hanlon, Dermuth, and Castillo. With me, I have Audrey Wilker. She's part of our litigation team at the firm. I have Nick Maddox. He's part of our team that heads up our special ed
board attorney.
department. And I have Kevin O'Hanlon. He's the O'Hanlon of the law firm. He does everything.
Thank you, Mr. Castillo. Let me go over the ground rules before you get started.
Yes, sir.
The board is allotted 30 minutes for this proceeding. My name is Miguel Salinas. I am the staff attorney for the school district. With me is Rosario Peña, the director, the purchasing director for the district. As I said, we've allotted 10 minutes for this presentation. The first 10 minutes is to allow you to make your presentation. The next 20 minutes is reserved for you to answer 12 questions submitted by the Board of Trustees. I will read the questions to you and await your response. Each question will be evaluated and scored from 1 to 4, with 1 the lowest and 4 the highest. For both segments of the presentation, Ms. Peña will be the timekeeper and give you a warning when there is 1 minute left. Please be advised, time limits will be strictly enforced, and if you run out of time before answering each question, you will not be scored for those left unanswered. So please keep the 20 minutes in mind when you answer, okay? All right, sir, you may begin.
Thank you. So, like I said before, my name is Benjamin Castillo. I'm an attorney with O'Hanlon, Demarath, and Castillo. We have offices in Austin, San Antonio, and here in the Rio Grande Valley. What we do we do school law. That's who we are. My practice is 100% school law. 100% of Audra's practice is school law. 100% of Kevin O'Hanlon's practice is school law, and 100% of Nick Maddox's practice is school law. That's who we are. We are honored to represent school districts all over the state of Texas. We're at board meetings almost every night. So we have a lot of experience in doing this.
Doesn't pay enough.
In our firm, we have every type of lawyer that you guys need. We have board certified attorneys. That just means that they're specialized in several areas. We have a board certified attorney in employment law. We have board certified attorneys in litigation and trial and appellate. Mr. O'Hanlon was general counsel for TEA. We have former school board members in our firm. We have an attorney in the firm who worked in the school district as their public information officer. We have state senator, general counsel. We have lobbyists. We have people who work at
board attorney,
and we have adjunct law professors who are lawyers in our firm, and a former superintendent who is a lawyer in our firm at this time as well. And again, just kind of really quickly, we represent clients all over the state of Texas. I'm from the Rio Grande Valley, so I'm based here. But I'm lucky enough to travel all over the place to go to board meetings and help school board members like yourself serve their communities. So that's what we do. That's who we are. I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Mr. Maddox, just so he can kind of give a quick overview of the special ed department in our law firm.
Yes, good evening, board. Thank you so much for having us here. My name is Nick Maddox. I'm the special education attorney of the O'Hanlon, Demarath, and Castillo law firm. And so I've been doing this full-time special ed since 2011. I love it. I'm passionate about it. And this is what I do for our firm. There really isn't many special education cases from our 3 offices in Houston and Austin, San Antonio, and the Valley that don't come across my desk at some point. And if I get stuck, we have Kevin O'Hanlon here, who is a special education judge, as well as writing a lot of the laws regarding special education mediation. So why is it important to talk about special ed? Because there's 3 pillars what you want to look for in a school law firm. There's board governance, there's personnel, and there's special ed. Those are the 3 things that tend to cause districts the most trouble. And so those 3 things, when you're strong in that, it creates a trifecta of good, solid representation. And board, this firm's got it. We have the special ed, we have the personnel. Mr. O'Hanlon, Mr. Castillo are rock stars at board governance and everything below. And so having those 3 tiers is extremely important and something you should look for. Also in special ed, we take a holistic approach. We take a proactive approach instead of a reactive approach. The worst time to call your special ed lawyer is after you've been sued. There's so much about special ed that can be avoided, easily avoided, affordably and effectively avoided by having good, solid special education counsel, boots on the ground at all times. One thing that I do, I don't do this whole call the firm, wait for the receptionist, wait for them to find me. When you're a special education director or a coordinator or even a diag and you need an answer, you need it now. And so one thing that we do for all of us is you have ourselves, those of us that are authorized to speak with the staff and the staff that are authorized to speak with us have direct contact to us as attorneys. When you're sitting in an ARD meeting, when you're sitting with an angry parent, you need a lawyer and you need them now. So that's one thing that we do, whether it's Andrea Garza over at La Jolla, Alita Suarez at Edinburgh, Margarita at PSJA. I talk to them all the time, every day, proactively to take care of this.
No, this is O'Hanlon Law Firm.
And our special ed litigation is extremely low for the size firm we are and the amount of special education students that we serve. I don't want to take up all the time. I just want you to know that we're here for you and we have that expertise that you need to look for as a board. And I'm going to turn it over to Audra to introduce herself on the litigation side. Thank you, board.
Hi. So my name is Audra Gonzalez-Wilcher. I am in the Austin office, but I'm originally from the Valley. I'm from Rio Grande City. And so I'm kind of that 4th pillar. Whenever something can't be resolved, we take it to the courts, right? So I help in the litigation department, and my colleague Dave Campbell, who's also in the Austin office, and Kevin, we handle all types of litigation, starting from
I agree
county
with
court
Jimmy.
all the way to the Texas
I don't
Supreme
trust
Court.
O'Hanlon.
And also a variety of cases. As a school district, you're going to have a lot of different types of law that come through, and so we handle employment disputes, construction disputes, contract interpretation, valedictorian issues, grades, all kinds of issues that come up. We're here to help and solve those problems, either amicably, and if not, through the court system. Recently, we've actually argued a case in front of the Texas Supreme Court. So we also take on state agencies to help school districts prevent board takeover. And so we also take it from the plaintiff side as well. So we're here to kind of manage all types of litigation. We try to do that effectively in the best way that we can. So that's kind of what I do and my expertise and what I offer to school districts such as yourself. I'm going to hand it over to Kevin, and he's going to explain the rest.
No, they are trying to pitch for them to be the
On
new
the way over
board
here, I was
attorneys.
trying to think of when the first time I'm somewhat familiar with this district. I go back to, well, I've occasionally represented this district over the years, going all the way back to when Wally Jackson was the superintendent of the district. We've never done it full-time as general counsel, but we've done spot work for occasionally at need, as we are right now, for the district, kind of on call on special assignments. We pride ourselves on being accurate with respect to what the legal requirements of school boards and school employees are. We are very careful that we are not. We don't consider ourselves to be trustees. We know where the lines are in terms of what your discretion is with respect to your jobs as trustees. We're very careful to stay to advise you with respect to what those requirements are, but to never step over the line with respect to trying to become an eighth board member. Or a substitute superintendent. Our advice, we understand our role is to advise the process, to do it accurately, to ensure that every trustee and every school board and every employee of the district that seeks our advice is given legally factual information without our judgment with respect to the merits on the discretionary matters that are left to their decisions. We know where the lines are with respect to that. Hopefully, with respect to the things that we've done recently on the district, the board is comfortable with our standing in that role. Finally, it is true, I was the general counsel of the Texas Education Agency. The lawsuit
Did you get the rocks?
Mentioned was we're currently in litigation with the Commissioner of Education, trying to keep him from taking over Houston ISD. So far, we've been successful with respect to that. Don't look for fights with the Commissioner of Education, but if one comes up, we'll do it with respect to that, and we'll do it. I think
the meeting is to hire the new board attorney.
So far, never over till it's over, but so far we've had good luck with respect to the litigation. That's our presentation. We'll be happy to answer questions.
Mr. O'Hanlon, are you going to be answering for the firm?
Yes, or I'll pass it off.
Okay. If you need me to, I'm going to ask the questions. If you need me to repeat a question, let me know and I will re-ask it. You ready to begin?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Pena, we'll start the clock. First question. Given the close working relationship between the Board of Trustees and the Board Attorney, what is your opinion regarding the Board Attorney monetarily contributing to the campaign of school board trustees and the potential conflicts of interest?
There's always a potential conflict. The First Amendment authorizes that to be done. We recommend against it. In those circumstances, part of that's what the culture of the district is in terms of what's acceptable or not acceptable. But we generally recommend against it to avoid the conflict of interest. Also to avoid any sense of favoritism with respect to I contributed to one trustee or not to another, or one you contributed to lost, and now the other side's angry at you and that kind of stuff. So it's safer to stay out of it.
Thank you. Number 2, do you and or any associates from the firm you're representing have a pending lawsuit against the district, employees, or any board member that could be conceived as a
O'Hanlon.
conflict?
Against Brownsville ISD or any school district?
Against the district.
The district being Brownsville ISD? No.
Yes, sir. All right. Number 3, what unique quality do you and your firm have that separates you from your competitors?
Experience, breadth of experience with respect to our representation of school districts. We do major school districts across the state. As serves as board counsel, which is what this assignment is. We serve as board counsel for Fort Worth ISD. We're on the panel in Dallas ISD. We serve as board counsel for as part of a panel in McAllen, sole board counsel in Edinburgh, La Jolla, Edcouch-Osa, Valley View, Hidalgo. There's a few others. That's enough for now. But it's in our list. So our experience, also the fact that we do.
I think the questions are questions that have been concerns to the community for a while. This is actually a great couple of questions.
Listen, call them in our offices. Board certified.
Oh, that is
law.
Miguel Salinas, staff attorney.
Board certified in civil appellate
He's a good
law.
guy.
So we have litigation experience. With respect to special ed,
Hey, Christian.
Nick gave you his bona fides. I was the director of the special
Watching
ed
the meeting.
department because when I was in general counsel at TEA, that fell within the general counsel's purview. So I ran that. We created the first mediation program in the country at TEA when we did that.
Number 4, how many years of experience in school law does the lead attorney that will be assigned to BISD have? If more than one lead attorney, please state the name and their years of experience practicing school law.
Kevin O'Hanlon, 40.
Number 5, what % of your legal work, aside from your legal fee, is outsourced?
What percentage of our legal work?
Is outsourced?
None.
Right. Number 6,
Wow, that's a good question.
BISD has a high volume of contracts, therefore attention to detail is critical. Not all submitted applications in the RFQ process were filled out correctly. Did your firm fulfill all the criteria for the RFQ application process? How would your firm guarantee that all contracts are filled out and reviewed to the highest standard?
It is our belief that we did fill out all the RFQ in accordance with the requirements. I guess somebody else is going to be grading our papers, so we'll see how we did. We think we did. With respect to our processes on contracts, we do several things. One, where possible, we standardize, but we don't standardize to our format. We standardize to the district format to make sure you get what you want out of the process. Second, we never submit anything without having multiple lawyers look at it. It doesn't go out the door until it's been reviewed by 2 lawyers and a legal assistant with respect to that. And finally, with respect to contracts, the little stuff matters. I've been doing contract law for government entities for 40 years. We know the nuances with respect to where you're going to get cost money, and we look for those and make sure to point those out. Again, back to what I said, our job is not to tell you what to put in a contract. Our job is to identify the issues and let you decide what the decision makers in the district, be it the board
He is
or the
waiting
staff,
in the back.
what needs to be in the contract, given our review of what the issues that are involved.
Number 7, what school districts have you or your firm represented
Baltasar is also
that
wanting
have the
the
size,
contract.
scope, and complexity of legal issues that Brownsville ISD has? Specifically name the district and describe the similarities.
Fort Worth, demographically similar, twice as large. Dallas, demographically
Hopefully.
similar, 3 times as large, or maybe even more, closer to 4 times as large. Edinburgh, demographically functionally identical. It's about 80%. Same way with Far San Juan Alamo. It's about 30,000, a little smaller. It's about 3/4 the size. We serve as full general counsel for that district. That's another one. Edinburgh, which is about 33,000 right now, depending on how you count COVID students. So it's a little smaller. We serve as full general counsel for that. La Jolla ISD, which is about 30,000. We serve as general counsel to that district. We also do some contract work for Austin ISD. And I guess the big enchilada right now is that we do Houston ISD.
Yes, Baltasar gets a chance to also interview for this job position, 100%.
School district, which is specifically with respect to the Supreme Court matter on
Yes.
the government.
Number 8, specifically, name the attorneys from your firm who will personally perform and supervise the district's legal work. What role will be played, if any, by other attorneys, law clerks, and legal assistants?
All right. The 4 individuals that are here, including myself, will perform work. Audra Welter, Mr. Maddox, who is going to do special ed. Audra Welter is going to do litigation. Dave Campbell, who is board certified in civil appellate law and teaches at the University of Texas, does our litigation with respect to that. We won't do a tremendous amount of litigation, to be honest with you, probably because it's mostly insurance driven. But if you do get in it, that's not covered by insurance coverage where they assign the attorney.
Kat, you are correct.
You will be in competent hands.
O'Hanlon is
Mr.
Dr.
Maddox
Gutierrez's law firm.
Myself will do the special.
They're the ones that have
law.
put money in Gutierrez's
Labor and
pocket.
employment law will be done by myself, Leslie McCollum, who's board certified in labor law, Dave Campbell, who's also board certified in civil appellate. Open records will be done by Christy Godden, who spent 4 years in the Attorney General's office, public information public opinions section, doing open records decisions for the Texas Attorney General's office. She'll be in charge of the public information requests to the extent that we have any. I think that's pretty much it.
Number 9, how do you or your firm handle it when you have to say no to a proposed course of action that the board wants to take?
Honestly, okay? It is not, and that, I'm not trying to be glib. It is not our job to tell a board of trustees whether they are right or wrong in a policy sense. All right? It is what I told you earlier in my presentation. That's your job. That's the board's job to make a determination in a policy sense about.
I honestly think that the contract is going to be fought.
Our job is to tell the board when they are going to brush up against the law with the decision they make. Restated, it is the better way to put it is that
just
we're going
expense.
to tell a district or a board of trustees how to do, take the policy initiatives that they seek to go forward with, not whether to do it or not. We tell them how to do it. It is seldom.
The receipts for the
Sometimes it's impossible, but it is seldom that we will not be able to find a way to move forward within the legal authority granted to the board of trustees to accomplish a policy initiative. So we may have to tell them, not this way, but we can do it another way if you'll do that. And we will never tell a board not to do something, or not to do something on a policy matter. It's not our job. We understand that.
Number 10, what is your success rate when it comes to handling special education cases?
We do a couple of things differently with respect to special ed cases that almost guarantees our success. There is, under the special education statutes, a conciliation process that's been built in since the last amendments to the special ed laws.
Right
to the
now, Kat,
IDEA.
I think it's between
When we
these
what
guys,
we do
O'Hanlon
is
and
that
Walsh.
when we get it,
they're the ones that
that's why
are
Nick said he wanted the phone. Everybody needs the phone number.
going to be on top of
Where
the
when we
list.
get a heads up, we will talk to your folks and find out what the issues are, and we will try and find a way to resolve the matter. In the event that we believe that there is an exposure to the district, we will talk with the special education department, and we will advise the special education department to go to the conciliation meeting, which is not attended by lawyers. That's the law, and we will offer an unconditional offer of settlement with respect to any issue where we think the district has an exposure. The reason why we do that is that if they continue to go through with the case, one, they don't get attorney's fees at that level. And attorney fees exposure is a big part of dealing with special ed cases. If they won't get attorney's fees for resolving a case at the conciliation level, the plaintiff's lawyer won't. And unless they get more than you offer at the conciliation
it's going to be
meeting,
interesting.
in the final hearing, they're not going to get attorney's fees. So what we do is we try and look very closely at the district's exposure on the front end with the special education department, make a reasoned decision, and where there's exposure, there's an offer. We'll make an offer unconditional. It's not like we're going to settle the case or not. It's that if we denied you free appropriate public education by not giving you VOCAT or vocational training or something of that nature, we'll make it up. And then there's no condition on that. If they refuse it and all they get is that, they won't achieve attorney's fees. What that does is forces resolution earlier at lower cost in the process. That's how we do it. We think we're unique in how we do that. It's born of the fact that I've always thought the transactional costs in special education are too high. That's why we invented the first mediation. When I was at TEA, we invented the first mediation program, the no-cost mediation program that TEA does. I invented that when I was general counsel at TEA in order to hold down transaction costs. My philosophy remains the same, as does our whole special education department.
Thank you.
Board, just to put a number on that, using this formula, I'm confident saying that we have a 99% success rate in either settling or winning cases favorably to districts. It's a very high success rate.
Thank you. Number 11, how would you describe yourself as a person?
Honest, straightforward, to the point essentially that I don't have hidden agendas. I view my job as a lawyer. I've been a lawyer for a long time. I look at it that way. I consider myself professional, highly ethical with respect to the rules and prescriptions of our profession. I understand my role with respect to clients.
It's a kung fu.
I guess how I describe myself
Chinese
as a lawyer.
dress.
Finally, what is a good weakness?
Thank you.
What is a good weakness? Compassion. We are in the people business. We are sometimes being right isn't the only thing. That we have to deal with constituents and things of that nature.
Me either.
So in the education arena, in the public sector, it is important for us to understand the nature of compassion and to adhere to that where that's available. Never at the expense of selling out a client with respect to that. And again, relating back, we don't make the decision to whether or not to extend compassion or not. That's ultimately the policymakers, but we don't object to it. Or that's of significant value for any governmental entity.
Thank you, Mr. O'Hanlon. Appreciate it. We're good?
All right, thank you all very much.
Thank you.
If you don't mind, let me just take out my presentation. Thank you all very much.
Let's see who's next. Again, guys, this is Rene Gutierrez's firm. I don't trust O'Hanlon. I don't trust O'Hanlon because during my time there, they did offer horrible advice, not legal advice. They offered pointed advice in regards to which ways Baltasar Salazar wanted them. So it's kind of a weird deal. So vas a hacer stir fry.
The next presenter is the law firm of Walsh, Gallegos, Trevino, Russo, and Kyle.
It's between these two law firms, O'Hanlon and Walsh.
Is there a PowerPoint ready to go?
Good evening.
Okay.
Could I take a moment?
Yes, of course.
I'm not sure how many law firms are interviewing, but these first two are the ones that are the most probable to get the contract. I am anxious to hear about the Salazar's one.
No, it worked just fine.
Drum roll, please. This is Walsh and Gallegos. How many attorneys are applying for the position? Again, I'm not sure how many.
Yeah, that's how
It's going to be interesting. But these first two are the main law firms that I would say are probably up. Is Baltasar also interviewing? My guess is yes. I'm sure that he's done everything he could to try and make sure that he gets the contract again.
Sure. Let me know when you're ready to start.
Thank you, I will.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Miguel Salinas. I am the staff attorney for the school district. With me is Rosario Peña, the purchasing director for the district. Thank you for being here tonight. Before we begin, will you please introduce yourself and your team present here?
Of course. My name is Leandra Costilla Ortiz. I am a shareholder partner with the firm of Walsh, Gallegos, Trevino, Kyle, and Robinson. And with me tonight is another shareholder partner, Mr. John Muniz, and Ms. Priscilla de la Garza, an associate attorney in our office.
Thank you, Ms. Ortiz. The board has allotted 30 minutes for this proceeding. The first 10 minutes is to allow you to make your presentation. The next 20 minutes is reserved for you to answer 12 questions submitted by the Board of Trustees. I will read the questions to you for your response. Each question will be evaluated and scored from 1 to 4, with 1 the lowest and 4 the highest. For both segments of the presentation, Ms. Peña will give you a warning when there is 1 minute left. Please be advised, time limits will be strictly enforced, and if you run out of time before answering each question, you will not be scored for those left unanswered. So please keep the 20 minutes in mind when you answer. If you need, when we get to the question answer part, if you need me to repeat a question, please let me know and I will re-ask it. You have any questions?
I do not have any questions.
You may start your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you, Board President Garcia, board members, as well as Superintendent Gutierrez and administration, and to any of the community that ultimately observes this recording ultimately. I, again, am Leandra Ortiz. I'm here and it's an honor and a privilege to come to Brownsville ISD. I am a local Brownsville resident. have a daughter attending Veterans Memorial High School. Go Chargers. And I'm just very proud and honored to be here before you and to introduce you to two integral members of our team. Priscilla de la Garza again with our local office. She is based out of Mission, but we are in the Harlingen area is where our office is. Mr. John Muniz comes to us from the San Antonio office. However, he is basically in our local office and assists us locally. We also have several other members you'll see on the presentation this evening that are part of our team that were not able to be here tonight, trying to keep it small due to COVID protocols.
Walsh Gallegos,
And as
I
the
think, is
shareholder
the top,
in the RGB
top
office,
runner right now.
I'm the designated
Do I think the board
person
member will
this
have
evening
this
to be with
attorney
y'all.
in their pocket?
So I
wherever
want
they
to go
pick?
ahead and get moving since we don't have a lot of time.
Not
to
sure.
go
It
through.
just depends on what conversations have been had
There we go.
before. I want to hear
So
you
we
say,
are Walsh Gallegos, and we believe in doing things the Walsh Gallegos way. Our mission is basically to help the people who help kids. That's what we do. That's our purpose, that's how we serve. Day in, day out, we are here for the educators. We are here to minimize legal conflicts. We are here to ensure that the district's financial resources are not drained on legal fees and that everything is focused on the students. We are experienced. We have skills that you can count on. We have had this firm has been over 35 years since Mr. Walsh joined forces with two other wonderful attorneys to open this firm. We have over 500 clients across the state of Texas and New Mexico, and 65 attorneys to support you so that you can feel confident in everything that is provided to you. We're available when you need us 24/7, and not just one of us, but any of us, anyone that you need. We are here to speak your language and to get the job done. We know education. We are school law. We do only represent school districts. This is what we do.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is John Muniz. Born and raised in Cameron County, and it would truly be an honor to represent the district of the county seat. In Walsh Gallegos, we are the leaders in education. We have built this firm over 35 years in various aspects of school law. My area is special education, and we often are giving presentations around the state. I'm going to give a presentation tomorrow to all the directors of Region 20. Last week I gave a presentation to all the directors of Region 18. And my point is that as leaders in this field, a lot of people come to us to get their questions answered. I have the privilege of focusing just on special education. Special education is extremely complicated. And my area that I spend, I eat, breathe, sleep, special education law. And I'm not the only one. We have at least 18 attorneys who practice special education law. That's not just for special education. That's for any area that your district may need. We have specialists in that area who can help you right away. We have all these attorneys in-house, and they're available to you 24/7.
Thank you, John. Good evening, everybody. My name is Priscilla de la Garza. I'm an associate attorney with Walsh Gallegos in the Harlingen office, as Ms. Ortiz mentioned. And as she also mentioned, all of our attorneys are accessible to you at any time. We're available via email, through telephone, and that means all of our attorneys, all 65 of them. We have different departments, including facilities and business. So if any of your administrators have a question about construction contracts, for example, we have experts in the field. This is on the screen, you'll see the team that you will most likely be working with. It is Ms. Ortiz and myself, Ms. De La Garza, and Mr. Saldana. We're all in the Harlingen office. We're local. Two of our attorneys live in Brownsville. And so if the district, for any reason needs an attorney right away, we're local and we can be at the district in 30 minutes. The rest of the attorneys that you see on the screen, we receive a lot of support from our other offices, but specifically from our San Antonio office, which is where Mr. Muniz is from. And so you'll see Ms. Neely, Ms. Payne, Mr. Bettis, Mr. Descendes, and John on the screen, and they are experts in a variety of areas, including litigation. We're all litigators in the Harlingen office. Special education. I also practice special education in the Harlingen office. General ed, anything having to do with school law. And so we're the largest school law firm in Texas, and that means that we are uniquely qualified to serve school boards, and we are uniquely qualified to serve Texas school districts. As both of my colleagues have stated, we've got an army behind us, and that means that the district would have an army of lawyers behind them. For that reason, we don't outsource any of our work. Everything is done in-house. We handle grievances, investigations, due process hearings, any kind of litigation. We do anything related to school law.
That is important because
our
it's
attorneys
something
have won over 18 cases
that Baltasar would not do.
in the past
Baltasar was like on the head, más distribuía el trabajo to everyone.
Cases and
that's why they're pitching that so hard.
Cases,
like we do everything.
Having to do with school law.
We're not going to be consulting with other folks.
We've gone to the Fifth Circuit, and I know one of our attorneys is going to the Supreme Court of the United States this year, I think. We're also TEA certified to train boards in Team of 8 trainings, the Open Meetings Act, the PIA, and we're the only firm in the Valley who is TEA certified to do so. We train staff, we train administration on investigations, grievances, on a variety of things, and again, anything to do with school law. And I'm going to turn it over to Leandra so that she can complete.
So in conclusion, yes, we are Walsh Gallegos, and we are uniquely qualified to serve the board of Brownsville ISD. It would be an honor and a privilege to do so. And I know also, as I stated earlier, as being a local resident, that would be an even additional honor and privilege to do so. At this point in time, we have concluded our presentation, and we are happy to take any questions.
Ms. Peña, tell me when you're ready. Ready? Ms. Ortiz, question number 1. Given the close working relationship between the Board of Trustees and the Board Attorney, what is your opinion regarding the Board Attorney monetarily contributing to the campaign of school board trustees and the potential conflicts of interest?
I can definitely answer that. I don't believe that there is a absolute legal conflict, but I can share that Walsh Gallegos does not contribute to any election campaigns. That's just something that we have decided early on in order to maintain the ethics of the district.
Thank you. Number 2, do you and or any associates from the firm you're representing have a pending lawsuit against the district, employees, or any board member that could be conceived as a conflict?
None known at this time.
Number 3, what unique quality do you and your firm have that separates you from your competitors?
So we are uniquely qualified because we are, I think we have 7 offices across Texas. We have 1 in New Mexico. We have 65 attorneys specialized in every area that you could think of that has to do with school law. We've got ADA experts, immigration experts. We've got facilities and business, construction experts, special education experts. And these are experts that have practiced for a long time with Walsh Gallegos and in Texas. And I think that specifically the amount of time that we've spent working in school law is what sets us apart the most.
Number 4, how many years of experience in school law does a lead attorney that will be assigned to BISD have? If more than one lead attorney, please state the name and their years of experience practicing school law.
I can share that I will be one of the main contacts for Brownsville ISD. I've been practicing, an attorney practicing for 18 years now, and about 10 years of that in school law. 4 as a staff attorney here at Brownsville ISD, I believe 3 or 4 and then another few 6 or 7 years with the firm of Walsh Gallegos. Also, there will be the entire team that you saw up on the screen. We have Mr. Saldana, who has been in practice for, I know more than, I don't want to date him, but more than 30 years. And as far as Miss Neely as well, for more than 30 years. And my colleagues can share their experience if they so choose.
We'll all be working.
I was actually a teacher before I went to law school, and so with everything, well, since law school, I went straight into school law, and that would be 8 years now.
Number 5, what % of your legal work, aside from your legal fee, is outsourced?
There is probably less than 1% that would be outsourced, and I would say it's probably not even outsourced, but more of a collaboration with others as we move into litigation or federal courts or things like that. As well, just want to make sure and make clear, we handle everything having to do with school law, but we do not handle any type of delinquent tax collection.
Number 6, BISD has a high volume of contracts. Therefore, attention to detail is critical. Not all submitted applications in the RFQ process were filled out correctly. Did your firm fulfill all the criteria for the RFQ application process? How would your firm guarantee that all contracts are filled out and reviewed to the highest standard?
Well, each of our attorneys or whoever would be responsible for reviewing those contracts, we do believe in making sure that everything is reviewed to the highest standard. We do work together, sometimes in teams collaboratively, to make sure that nothing is missed. And I know that people are human, but at the same time, that's our job, is to make sure that the district is protected.
Number 7, what school districts have you or your firm represented that have the size, scope, and complexity of legal issues that Brownsville ISD has? Specifically, name the districts and describe the similarities.
Our firm works with Northside ISD. It's one of the largest districts in the state of Texas. We handle their legal work, including special education, litigation. Judson ISD is a large district that I think is fairly similar in size.
No, they're not going to, Diana.
Their legal work, litigation. Austin ISD, and
Houston ISD is one of them, Austin ISD, and I've worked with Northside before. I know Mr. Muniz has also, and Judson.
Thank you.
But as far as how they're similar to Brownsville, I think districts like Corpus Christi or Judson ISD, they're more similar in size, and they're going to have a lot of similar issues. We also work with La Feria. We work with Weslaco a bit, with the special education. Los Fresnos, McAllen a little bit. Those are unique, like Brownsville, in that they are along the border.
Thank you. Number 8, specifically, name the attorneys from your firm who will personally perform and supervise the district's legal work. What role will be played, if any, by other attorneys, law clerks, and legal assistants?
Again, the team that was presented to you on the screen in your presentation packets is would be your legal team. I, as the shareholder of the RGB office, would be one of the main supervisors, as well as likely Mr. Miguel Saldana and Elizabeth Neely, and Mr. Muniz in the special education area.
Number 9, how do you or your firm handle it when you have to say no to a proposed course of action that the board wants to take?
Very diplomatically, but also very pointedly, to make sure that they understand all the options that are available to them and that there's no misconstruing of any information. We would want to make sure that they understand the recommendation, understand the advice, and have the opportunity to ask any questions that they need so that it can be fully vetted together. And maybe perhaps that's something that we can think outside the box and work together on. But ultimately, the best course of action is to be direct.
Number 10, what is your success rate when it comes to handling special education cases?
Everyone's going to answer that.
I don't have an exact percentage for you, but it's an extremely high rate. I personally have never lost a due process hearing. And I know in our San Antonio office, I think maybe 1 out of the last 15 due process hearings. But firm-wide, we have a very good record and also a very strong appeal record.
Number 11.
Can we add to that a little bit?
Of course.
Yes, I had mentioned that we've gone to the Fifth Circuit 18 times in the past, I think, 8 years, and 10 of those cases have been special ed cases.
Thank you. Number 11. How would you describe yourself as a person?
Oh, that's just a weird question.
I believe that I am again, diplomatic, even-keeled, level-headed, an ability to listen well and to take information, complicated, complex information, and be able to help others understand that information, especially your administrators or educators that just need assistance. They know exactly what they're doing on a day-to-day basis, but it can be difficult and there can be questions that they have. So as a individual, honest, trustworthy, and I believe that I speak for the remainder of the team in those same adjectives, that we are here to serve the district in the highest value of integrity as we possibly can.
And number 12. What is a good weakness?
Well, personal weakness. I was licensed 4 years ago, and I've been mentored by Ms. Ortiz for that amount of time. And she tells me I'm very quick with my work, but it can also be a weakness because
He was, Olga.
You know, I work quickly on.
I think
on
Mike
matters,
Saldaña
I get
is
it done as best as I can.
el tío de
It may.
El tío de
you know,
Daniela.
I do some things hastily, and so I'm trying to.
Related to Daniela.
That's my strength, but I'm also trying to let it not become my weakness.
Very true.
I think for the firm, a good weakness is that we are also very student oriented. A lot of the conversations that I have with board members, I bring it from not only your district's point of view, but also from a student point of view. And in my experience working with school boards, the school board really appreciates that aspect, but ultimately the school board is going to make a decision that they feel is appropriate for the school district and the community. And it is ultimately up to the school board to make the decision. We work for you, we provide you that information, but as far as a good weakness, I think that would be it.
Thank you. That concludes the presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, and have a good evening. Everyone stay safe. Thank you.
Let's see who's next. Those two are the top two ones. O'Hanlon and Walsh. Who is next?
The next presenter is Law Office of Baltasar Salazar.
Oh! Let's see the ethics questions. Mira, little Eddie. Ahí está little Eddie, que está preguntando por él.
Hands up for 1 minute. Okay.
Baltasar Salazar.
Good afternoon. My name is Miguel Salinas. I am the staff attorney for the school district. With me is Rosario Peña, the purchasing director for the district. I will be the moderator for tonight's proceeding, and Ms. Peña will be the timekeeper. Before you begin, will you please introduce yourself?
My name is Baltasar Salazar.
Thank you, Mr. Salazar. The board has allotted 30 minutes for this proceeding. The first 10 minutes is to allow you to make your presentation. The next 20 minutes is reserved for you to answer 12 questions submitted by the Board of Trustees. I will read the questions to you for your response. Each question will be evaluated and scored from 1 to 4, with 1 the lowest and 4 the highest. For both segments of the presentation, Ms. Peña will give you a warning when there is 1 minute left. Please be advised, time limits will be strictly enforced, and if you run out of time before
Bye-bye,
answering
Balta.
each question, you will not be scored for those left unanswered. So please keep the 20 minutes in mind when you answer. If you need me to repeat a question, let me know and I will re-ask it. Do you have any questions, Mr. Salazar?
No, sir.
If not, Ms. Peña, you ready? Sir, you may begin your presentation.
Thank you. Good afternoon or good evening, board members, Mr. Garcia, board president, Superintendent Gutierrez. I think those of you know me in this room, Baltasar Salazar. And I wanted to tell you why, and I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to show my qualifications. We have new board members, we know that. So what I want to do is, I'm actually glad we have this opportunity. So on behalf of myself, thank you very much for allowing me this opportunity. Again, this is for the RFQ, and I want to again thank the board members.
Yeah.
One of the reasons is that I want to let you know is I'm dependable. There was some doubts. I stood here 8 years ago, and there was a doubt whether I could handle this job. 8 years, I've never missed a single board meeting. I've never missed a committee meeting, and every time I've been asked to come to workshops, I've been here. 8 years, not one time have I been. The second thing that I've done for this board and administration also is every time I get a text, I text back. If I get a call, I call back. If I get an email, I respond. 24/7, Saturdays, Sundays, I have been very good about this. And again, this is not only board members, but administration too. My overall performance in the 8 years, I now have a track record. When I stood here 8 years ago, I didn't have a track record. Overall performance, there has not been not one single judgment against a school district in the 8 years. Not administrative, not state, not federal judgment. There's been no major settlements against the school district in 8 years. Settlements have, for the most part, been of nuisance value. And the other thing is, when this board sitting here, prior administrators have asked me to resolve an issue, I have been prompt, I have been efficient, I've done it in a timely manner. 8 years ago, I promised this board, the Browns Independent School District, my client, that I would lower the legal fees. And I have in 8 years, I have done that. And this is based, I have lowered the per student cost to $8.51. And this is based on Region 1's numbers and TEA numbers. These are not numbers that I made up. These are all publicly available. As a matter of fact, I also have some comparable school district on what it is cost per student. BISD is $8.51 a school. Laredo 11, Edinburgh 11.53. I won't go through that. But we are at the very bottom. Out of 44 school districts in Region 1, number 1 being the most expensive and number 44 being the least expensive, we're number 40. There's only 3 school districts in Region 1 that have a lower cost per student. And that's important because that's the way TEA looks at it. That's the way Region 1, every dollar that I take out of the budget is a dollar that's not spent in the classroom. So these are very important numbers.
Breathe, Valta, breathe.
The other thing that I've done is when I started here in 2013, there was an approach, an attitude, a culture of litigation. We have attorneys, we have the best attorneys. They're from Houston. We can fight every parent and every student. We can beat them to a pulp. In 2013, that was the approach. That approach has changed. We now, in the last few years, we have a student, parent, and service approach.
Liars.
So we've gone from being big, bad BISD against some of our most disabled students, some of our lowest economic parents, and we were beating them. I mean, we were just beating them. We have now changed our attitude. We've changed the way we do things.
Liar.
Our question now is, how do we provide a better service for our students? It's not us against them anymore. It's not BISD versus the parents.
Yes, it is.
How do we as a district provide a better service for this child?
Not true.
That's why we're here.
You liar.
That approach has made a significant change in what we've done in special ed. When I started in 2013, there was 18 cases pending. We've gone down to 5 cases in 2019. In 2020, we had no cases. And we know that's been a pandemic year. And we have, I think the printout in the last month or so, we got 1 case in 2021. But the approach has changed, the attitude. We now address problems at the campus level. I attend art meetings. If they bring an attorney, I show up. We attend, and it's not fighting with the parent. It's Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, we're here, all of these experts.
Not
We're
true.
here to try to help your child.
Liar.
It's not confrontational anymore. We are now, again, we are student, we are customer service oriented. I think I showed this to the board last week, but basically TASB has estimated that it costs about $70,000 per due process case. And again, I have made myself available. I think the superintendent's well aware of that. And surely special education department knows I'm available to them 24/7. A campus principal and special ed director, whoever calls me, I'm there for them 24/7. We address a problem now at the campus level. Again, if we would look at this $70,000 number, on 2013, we would have spent $1.2 million, $1,260,000. In 2014, with 8 cases, it would have been $560,000. In 2015, $840,000. And my flat fee for all 3 of those years was $24,000 a year. $24,000 a year, less than what TASB says you pay for 1 case. So if you look at that, and it's in your backup, but basically, I have made myself available. It has made a huge approach. It's not big, bad lawyer trying to beat up on a parent or.
Yes.
My question is, can we provide the service?
He's a liar.
No? And if we can, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's add something so that we can get the parent
Let's do it.
and the student vested. So we write contracts out with the parents. So yes, we'll give you the iPad, but child has to show up. He's got to sign on. Okay. This is a part that nobody talks about. I've been beat up a couple of times, and that's okay. I get paid for that. But no one has ever looked at and examined, nobody, how much revenue I've been responsible for. In 2005 and 2006, I was lead counsel in the Aiken Mosquito case. And in that case, we were able to, BISD was able, the net proceeds to BISD was approximately $3.4 million. That was before I was here with the school district. The next case, while I was with the district, BISD in the Texas windstorm case, we made a $9.9 million settlement. BISD recovered $4.2 million. I am taking full responsibility for that. I'm going to take full responsibility for the 3.4. Then we had another case, BID versus HealthSmart. 2.9 million, BISD recovered 1.8. During my tenure as counsel for the district, we have brought in over $9 million in revenue. That's the part nobody talks about. They said, what does he do? Well, what does he do? Well, there's other things. I'm still the corporate representative. I oversee, and right now we currently have 6 of these cases that are current, that are closed. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, I think a lot of you have seen this. This is my motto. It's my postscript on my emails. I always put loyal, faithful, and aggressive representation. So I didn't make that up. That came from a case. Okay, it came from a case. Judge Hayden on the case that we got sued in the district, and he said Mr. Salazar has to have loyal, faithful, and aggressive representation. Now, does that mean that I have to be, when it says aggressive, mean to the other side? No. It means that I've got to put the district in a position that legally we have a better position, and that I don't compromise the school district. Loyal. I always think before I hit that send button, that's the last thing that's on my postscript. And I think, is this memorandum that I'm sending to the superintendent, or this memorandum that I'm sending to opposing counsel, or this memorandum that I'm sending to the staff attorney, is this in the best interest of the student? Am I taking money out of their pocket? Is it in the best interest of my client, the school district? Is it in the best interest of administration? Thank you, of administration. And I always pause before I hit that send button, because
you're a liar.
And again, I feel like I can take the satisfaction to say for the 8 years, every time I've hit that send button, I've done the best job to my ability to make sure that I've done everything ethically and in the best interest of the school district. So I thank you again very much for your time on my presentation.
Stop breathing.
Mr. Salazar, you ready to proceed with question and answer?
Yes, sir.
Number one,
Woo!
given the close working relationship between the Board of Trustees and the Board Attorney, what is your opinion regarding the Board Attorney monetarily contributing to the campaign of school board trustees and the potential conflicts of interest?
May I begin?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's a lifelong, if you live in the United States, whether it's for a presidential campaign or whether it's a commissioner's campaign or a mayor's campaign, that's a fact of life. Everyone contributes. I can tell you that I've never contributed to someone that I don't think is best for the Brown Independent School District. And I have that right. Like everybody has the right to get their earned money and contribute to a candidate. So I have that right. So I don't feel that there's a conflict. And there's been many times that I've been involved in other races and we've lost, and that's fine. I walk in with my head straight up high, and I walk out with my head straight up high because I've not done anything illegal. I've done nothing like that. I would never do that.
Oh!
Do you and or any associates from the firm you're representing have a pending lawsuit against the district, employees, or any board member that could be conceived as a conflict?
No, sir.
Number three, what unique quality do you and your firm have that separates you from your competitors?
Again, I want to say two things. First of all, education is in my blood. I'm a certified teacher, K through 12, in science. My dad was a teacher. My mom's a teacher. It's in our blood. I've been in the classroom, so I understand that. My wife was an administrator. My daughters are in education. The whole family's been in education. So I feel that's number one. Number two is I bleed BISD blood. You don't think that attorneys call me and say, hey, Mr. Salazar, it's not coming out of your funds. Settle the case. Insurance money, settle the case. These are attorneys that work with me, that are friends of mine, people in the community that have told me, settle the case. It doesn't cost you a penny. I know you can convince the board. But I always think, is that in the best interest of the school district? I can guarantee every single one of you that I have never made any decision that would profit me personally.
Oh, shut up!
A better position because I'm before another judge. I
Liar!
have not done that before, practicing law for 27 years.
Liar!
And I will never do it. I would rather turn my license in than to give up that.
Liar!
Number four, how many years of experience in school law does a lead attorney that will be assigned to BISD have? If more than one lead attorney, please state the name and their years of experience in practicing school law.
Yeah, I've been representing the school district, Browns Independent, since 2004. So I guess that would make it like 16 years. I have been representing BISD now for 8 years. I also am a vendor with the Houston Independent School District, and I'm also general counsel for Rio Grande City CISD. What you see is what you get. You're going to get a 61-year-old attorney
Rata!
that's going to do his best job, white hair and all. I'm going to do my best job. I'm not going to be rude. I'm not going to be overconfident.
Rata!
I'm going to do the best job I can. And if I don't have the answer, I'll find it for you. So that I'm going to be the only one you're going to see before this board. And I believe that's the only one this board, this administration, all administrations in the past year have ever seen is myself.
Liar! Liar!
What percent of your legal work, aside from your legal fee, is outsourced?
Oh, outsourced. A lot.
None. I
Oh,
do all the work myself.
not true.
Myself and I have a paralegal, Rick Guerrero, who nobody's ever met. He's my mystery man, but Rick does all my research. So yes, all of the work that I do for
Not true.
the Browns Independent School District
Not true.
is my work product.
Not true.
Number six, BISD has a high volume of contracts. Therefore, attention to detail is critical. Not all submitted applications in the RFQ process were filled out correctly.
Very rude.
Did your firm fulfill all the criteria for the RFQ application process? How would your firm guarantee that all contracts are filled out and reviewed to the highest standard?
I did turn in my contract or the RFQ to, again, to the best of my ability.
He contracts
Legal.
tons out.
I fulfilled all of the requirements that the purchasing department requested. And what was the second part of it, sir?
Did your firm fulfill all the criteria for the application process? How would your firm guarantee that all contracts are filled out and reviewed to the highest standard?
And since this superintendent has been here, Dr. Gutierrez, every contract that has gone before the board since a year and a half that Dr. Gutierrez got here, I've reviewed every single one of them, and I've thrown some back. I've thrown some back because I don't agree with arbitration. I don't agree with venue, and it has stalled the process. But every single time, the vendor has come back and changed the contract. Because again, I cannot look at the board and Dr. Gutierrez and say, I did my best job and I let them have venue in New Jersey. I cannot do my best job if I agree to arbitration. I just can't do that. So I have been responsible for the last year and a half to review and double review every single contract that this board and this administration has entered into. And I'll continue to do that.
Number 7, what school districts have you or your firm represented that have the size, scope, and complexity of legal issues that Brownsville ISD has? Specifically, name the districts and describe the similarities.
Well, Houston, I'm a vendor for Houston ISD. I think Houston is 5 times bigger than the Brownsville Independent School District. But the bulk of my work is Brownsville Independent School District. The other school district is Rio Grande City. Rio Grande City, unfortunately, is, again, I have a mission there. They're one of the highest per student attorney expense that they have there. So I've been brought on for the second time to try to fix that, to try to lower the legal fees in Rio Grande City. Again, they have a great school district. Again, you can't beat BISD because we're A-rated, so you can't beat that. And during this time, I think that I have at least added to some stability to the school board, and throughout all the turmoils that have occurred, the district continues to be an A-rated school district here in Brownsville.
Number 8, specifically, name the attorneys from your firm who will personally perform and supervise the district's legal work. What role will be played, if any, by other attorneys, law clerks, and legal assistants?
Again, I'll be the only person that you'd have contact with as far as attorneys.
How do you or your firm handle it when you have to say
Yes.
no to a proposed course of action that the board wants to take?
Those are very difficult decisions, and there's been some decisions that this board, maybe prior boards have made, where there's been some strong arming against me, but I've stood my ground. I have not flinched. And I've always told boards here in Rio Grande City, if you want to break policy, you can break it, but it's not going to be because I advised you. If you don't want to follow the best practices, you don't have to follow them. But it's not because I didn't recommend it. So I have to, so that I can, the district is my client. The administration is my client. The board is my client. If the board decides, you know what, we're not going to do this and we're going to do whatever we want, that's okay. My feelings aren't hurt. My job as your attorney is to tell you what is within the legal scope. And if you go outside the scope or outside the policy, that's fine. My feelings aren't hurt, but I've been pretty good about putting it on the record. And sometimes I've been criticized by that, and I don't have to. I could go with the flow. I could go with the flow and say, yes, approve everything, approve everything. I could approve all of Dr. Gutierrez's contracts, say, approved. It would be very easy. The difficult part is to look at it and say, I don't like the way this looks. Or, I don't like this protocol that we use, that the board's using. That's very difficult. I become the bad guy. But again, I would rather be the bad guy than have to turn my bar card over. I am not going to flinch. I'm not going to blink an eye. If I believe it's right, I'm going to tell you it's right. And if the board wants to continue, or not just the board, and I have a good working relationship with this administration and other administrations. I'm just saying that I have been one that has stood firm with this board, this administration, with special ed, and I have not budged. And now, if you want to go around me, you can do it, but it's not on my recommendation.
Number 10, what is your success rate when it comes to handling special education cases?
Again, we've taken some to hearing. The very first one that we had that I inherited, one of the 18, we lost. But it would already been started before we went to hearing on it, we lost. we were able to appeal it to federal court and we settled it. So that was the only one that we've paid a huge amount. All the other cases, they have been, I mean, I don't think I brought to this board maybe one, and I'm talking in minimum a couple of $1,000 summons. They have been very, very minimal. So I want to say that when you go from 18 to 0, 18 to 1, with a 12% of your population, your student population, that's special ed, that's a lot of students.
Reverend Patty.
That's, you know, what 12% of 40,000, 42,000.
Yes, the vote should be
That's
tonight.
about 4,800 students. That's a lot of students. That's a lot of issues. And we have been able to address these issues at the campus level. We've addressed them, which I think is so important because we get ownership not only of the parent, but the principal, the supervisors, the administration of special ed. It makes a big difference when they buy in to this idea that we're going to serve the student.
Number 11.
Not true.
How would you describe yourself as a person?
Oh,
Confident. And I've always been reminded to stay humble, to stay grounded. But I have always been confident.
Rata.
Sometimes I get, rocks thrown at me, and that's okay. I'm a big boy. But as an attorney, as a mechanic of the law, I'm not going to be intimidated by anybody. I don't care if it's a judge, a federal, a state, if it's a board member, it's a vendor, I'm not going to budge. What you see is what you get. I'm going to be, maybe people say I'm stubborn, but I believe that in order for us to set an example, and I say us, the district, it has to start at the top. It starts with our board, it starts with a superintendent, and it wouldn't be it wouldn't be very ethical if the board had a goal of the superintendent, and then the board council is out there wheeling and dealing, making deals to settle cases. I'm not that type of person. And again, I know this board's not looking for that type of person. I've never been that. I've been called a lot of things, but one of them is not that I do side deals or that I have a very good reputation in the legal community, and every place that I have applied to practice law, I've been admitted. Every single place, state, federal, out of county, out of state, everywhere. I have a good reputation in the legal community.
And number 12, what is a good weakness?
The good weakness is that I'm not a proud person. I've learned not to be proud. When I make a mistake, I take the mistake, I try to learn from it, and I've made some mistakes. Everybody knows that. But I take my mistakes, I learn from them, and I always tell people, look what I've done with myself. So my weakness is, I guess it's a good weakness, is that I'm a humble person. And I'm easy to cry.
Thank you, Mr. Salazar.
Thank you.
Is that it?
The next presenter is the law office of Jones, Galligan, Key, and Lozano, LLP.
Never heard of these guys.
Thank you. Let me know when you're ready, sir. Good afternoon. My name is Miguel Salinas. I am the staff attorney for the school district. With me is Rosario Peña, the purchasing director for the district. Thank you for being here tonight. Before you begin, will you please introduce yourself and the team present with you here today?
Good evening. Yes, my name is Juan Pequeño. I'm here with my partners, Mr. Ivan Perez, Mr. Robert Galligan, and Ms. Anita Lozano.
Thank you, Mr. Pequeño. The board has allotted 30 minutes for this proceeding. The first 10 minutes is to allow you to make your presentation. The next 20 minutes is reserved for you to answer 12 questions submitted by the Board of Trustees. I will read the questions to you for your response. Each question will be evaluated and scored from 1 to 4, with 1 the lowest and 4 the highest. For both segments of the presentation, Ms. Peña will give you a warning when there is 1 minute left. Please be advised, time limits will be strictly enforced, and if you run out of time before answering each question, you will not be scored for those left unanswered. So please keep the 20 minutes in mind when you answer. If you need me to repeat a question in the question and answer portion, please let me know and I will re-ask it. Do you have any questions? You ready to begin, sir?
Yes.
You may begin your presentation.
Good evening, Board President Garcia, Superintendent Gutierrez, members of the board. Thank you all for the opportunity to present our firm qualifications to you all here this evening. As I mentioned, my name is Juan Pequeño, and I'm here with my partners on behalf of Jones, Gallagher, and Keen Lozano. A little bit about me for those of you I've not met before. I was born and raised here in Brownsville. Both of my parents are work teachers with BISD. My wife is currently an elementary school teacher with BISD. I'm a proud graduate of BISD, where I attended elementary through high school. As a product of BISD, I'm
looks familiar.
Humbled and excited at the opportunity to have our firm represent the district. I'm a graduate of St. Mary's University School of Law and will be licensed 10 years this November. I've been with the firm my entire legal career and became a partner in 2020. I head up the Brownsville office, which was opened in 2017. I practice in a broad range of areas with a focus in civil litigation. I have experience in representation of public entities and assisting Ivan Perez with school law related matters, including non-renewals and general employment matters. I attended the Texas Association of School Boards School Law Boot Camp in 2014, which is an intensive practical training on core school law topics for attorneys. I'm currently lead counsel for a local public entity where I deal with issues involving Open Meetings Act issues, public information requests, board policy, and advising the board. As are many of the attorneys and staff in our firm, I'm actively involved in the community. I'm currently the treasurer of the Cameron County Bar Association. In 2019, I was recognized for pro bono service by the Cameron County Bar. I'm a Leadership Brownsville alumni and a member of North Brownsville Rotary. A little bit of background about our firm. Our firm was established in 1984 in Westlaco. So we have over 30 years of experience representing both public entities and ordinary citizens in and around the valley. Our principal office is in Westlaco, Texas. Here's a picture of our office in Westlaco. And as I mentioned, we opened an office here in Brownsville in 2017, here on 14th and Madison. We are in the valley, from the valley, with most of our attorneys born and raised in the valley. So what does our firm have to offer BISD? We have a total of 13 attorneys with a wide range of experience and specialties that would be at the disposal of BISD should you all select our firm. Our office consists of essentially 2 teams. We have our litigation team, which I have pictured here. Our litigation team has a wide range of specialties. Mr. Ivan Perez, who you'll hear from here in just a minute, is our lead attorney on employment law, school law, and public entity law. Most of the attorneys in our firm have been licensed, are licensed in state and federal court. We also have a transactional team that handles a variety of complex real estate and corporate matters.
That's where the pequeños
We have
are from.
approximately 50 support staff.
I've seen
along
this
with IT
young man
support and
before.
access to
A good-looking young man.
of legal resources and databases, all of which would be at BISD's disposal.
I think it's a plus
We have
that he's
local
from
presence
Brownsville,
with the field of big
graduated
city
from
law
Brownsville,
firms,
lives in
but
Brownsville.
with the ability to provide more personalized representation only a smaller firm can provide. And we are ready to meet the specific needs of BISD. We pride ourselves on upholding the highest ethical standard and providing efficient but top-notch legal counsel and representation. In addition, as Ivan will discuss, we have extensive experience in school law and representing public entities in and around the valley.
My name is Ivan Perez, and it's an honor to be here in front of this board this evening. I have a great respect for public education and the mission of public schools. I'm licensed in the state of Texas. I practice in state and federal courts and also licensed in the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. I've been practicing school law for 21 years. And for 6 years of my life, I was once an elected school board member. So I can appreciate the sacrifice that you school board members make in order to serve. And I understand that making the right decision isn't always the most popular decision. So I congratulate you on your service. Over the years, our firm has served over 16 local valley school districts in various capacities, whether as general counsel or special counsel. We believe that we can offer the district a deep group of talent with attorneys and staff of over 50 people, all located in the Rio Grande Valley. During periods of crisis and uncertainty, it certainly helps knowing that you can rely on a talented bench. I have personal experience in representing school districts in a variety of capacities, in grievances, whether student, parent, or staff member, non-renewal proceedings. I've sat with the board, I've represented administration, same with termination proceedings. I've handled appeals and investigations before the Commissioner of Education and TEA. I've handled lawsuits for districts in both state and federal court, advised districts on a variety of matters, including procurement, election matters, matters before the Texas Attorney General, lawsuits with vendors. We also practice special education law. Greg Kerr from our office, one of my partners, heads up that department. We also have represented districts in highly sensitive investigations.
I like that.
We also assist districts.
I like that they put pequeño in there. Pequeño.
To issue public responses to media.
Good-looking young
because
man.
Sometimes a no comment
from Brownsville, graduated from Brownsville.
We've
parents, family here,
and districts on some of the issues that are at the forefront of today's world. Namely, we all got a crash course in the legal issues related to COVID. We've advised districts on transgender issues as it relates from restroom issues to yearbook issues. We've advised districts on employee free speech matters. I even had the opportunity to represent the Fort Worth ISD as it related to an independent hearing examiner's recommendation for related to a termination of an employee who tweeted former President Trump. We've handled sexual harassment investigations for districts. We've handled student bullying cases. The most recent case that we
100%
dealt with,
he's a piece of crap.
Multiple district attorneys' offices involved in several law enforcement agencies. We pride ourselves on being efficient and thorough while keeping our clients informed in the loop throughout the process. With our firm, you'll get a no-nonsense legal approach with our advice being rooted in the law. When I first interviewed for this law firm, I interviewed with who's now my partner, Bob Galligan. I asked him, what is the philosophy of the firm? And what he told me still rings true today. We take our clients' legal issues and treat them as our own. And then we take the approach of treating them with the care, the tenacity, and the thoroughness that they deserve. With Jones, Galligan, Key, and Lozano, you'll get highly skilled attorneys. We understand that depending on the situation, you need your lawyer to act in different capacities.
I agree with Elizabeth.
And we're equally confident and comfortable wearing the title of advisor, negotiator, litigator, confidant, and problem solver. In your packet, you have some information related to our areas of expertise, our current and past school district clients, other governmental entities that we currently are formally represented. And it goes without saying, our attorneys have been involved in our community, whether it's in the Rotary Club, Lions Club, County Bar Association, pro bono endeavors, etc. At this time, I'm going to allow my partner, Anita Lozano, to come up and say a few words about our transactional component.
Thank you again for allowing us to be here tonight. I am one of the senior partners, and my department is transactional. And so when we assist our clients, it's a team effort. We do anything dealing with
1 minute.
real estate transactions, buying, selling. We have one partner that does a lot of condemnation. We help with any kind of easement issues. We are a team that can cover a lot of different areas. And I'm going to yield now so that my partner can say a couple of words.
My name's Bob Galligan, and I am the most senior of the senior partners. I was a teacher and a coach before I went to law school, and then I practiced law, and a large part of my practice has been school law for more than 40 years, representing many districts. My role would be a support person to help Ivan and others who do this, or to fill in however is needed. But I have lots of experience, and our philosophy is to give the best advice we can to those people, you, who make the decisions that help lead this district.
I like these guys.
Mr. Pettis, we're going to start the question and answer part. Whenever you're ready.
Ready, sir.
Question number 1. Given the close working relationship between the Board of Trustees and the Board Attorney, what is your opinion regarding the Board Attorney monetarily contributing to the campaign of school board trustees and the potential conflicts of interest?
When I started up with the law firm, I talked to Bob about those issues, Bob Galligan, and he's taken the position, and we've taken a position as a firm for a long time that if we contribute to one candidate and another candidate gets in, how can there be trust? Is there trust? Can there be trust that the lawyer that's representing the board is giving answers that are based on the law, rooted in the law, and not necessarily in politics? However, we also balance that knowing that at times there are supporters of the district that are doing well, and so at
He
times
is a good-looking guy, man.
There can be an opportunity to contribut,
very presentable,
by contributing to the scholarship foundation or to some other types of foundations, and so that would be my response.
Number 2, do you and or any associates from the firm you're representing have a pending lawsuit against the district, employees, or any board member that could be conceived as a conflict?
We do not.
Number 3, what unique quality do you and your firm have that separates you from your competitors?
Well, I think it's the philosophy of the firm in taking on the problems of our clients and making them our own. You will see, if given the opportunity, that we do make every effort to provide the very best, top-notch, high-quality legal representation that exists. Additionally, we believe that having a local presence is important.
He's a
and as a matter
good-looking
of fact,
guy,
our
man.
entire presence
This guy's a good-looking guy too.
Located in the Rio Grande
Pero
Valley.
pequeño,
we think that
looks a
lends
lot
to that
better.
support. Every dollar that's spent on legal services stays in the community, stays in the Rio Grande Valley.
Number 4, how many years of experience in school law does a lead attorney that will be assigned to BISD have? If you have more than one lead attorney, please state the names and their years of experience practicing school law.
Well, it's anticipated that I would be the lead attorney, and I have almost 21 years of experience in school law this year, working closely with Juan Pequeño, who is the local presence here and has experience in public entity work, in addition to Bob Galligan, who you met recently. Bob would take a more senior role in terms of not doing day-to-day stuff for the district.
Number 5, what % of your legal work, aside from your legal fee, is outsourced?
So that's a very good question. There are times that we've had clients that don't have the benefit that Brownsville does of having in-house counsel. And so there are times, for example, when there is a grievance before the board and the district does not necessarily feel comfortable having lawyers from the same firm sit with the administration, representing the administration, and at the same time sitting with the board and advising the board. And so we've had clients tell us that there's not necessarily a comfort level, and so as a result, there can be some outsourcing there. Sometimes if there is a conflict of interest, there could potentially be an outsourced opportunity, but for the most part, I'd say 5% or less of our legal work is outsourced, depending on the client's preference.
Number 6, BISD has a high volume of contracts. Therefore, attention to detail is critical. Not all submitted applications in the RFQ process were filled out correctly. Did your firm fulfill all the criteria for the RFQ application process? How would your firm guarantee that all contracts are filled out and reviewed to the highest standard?
That's another very good question. I do believe that our firm submitted an RFQ consistent with the RFQ requirements. A lot of what a school attorney does is review contracts. That's what I do on a daily basis. We have significant familiarity, for example, with the AIA contracts that you normally have with your architects, with your, we're familiar with drafting and reviewing engineering contracts and other vendor contracts, but
you just look very presentable, bro.
Rest assured that we will take the time necessary to fully review and thoroughly review the contracts that are given to us for review.
Number 7, what school districts have you or your firm represented that have the size, scope, and complexity of legal issues that Brownsville ISD has? Specifically, name the districts and describe the similarities.
Sure. I have not been general counsel to a school district that has 55 campuses, 46,000 students. I have represented several districts along in the valley that have 20 campuses, that have a population of 15, 16, 18,000 students, namely Weslaco ISD, Sherryland ISD, who has multiple high schools. They do have similar student demographic as well, but that would be the comparables. Again, not the size of Brownsville ISD.
Number 8, specifically, name the attorneys in your firm who will personally perform and supervise the district's legal work. What role will be played, if any, by other attorneys, law clerks, and legal
Pequeño is the guy.
Sure, the supervising attorneys would be myself, Bob Galligan,
hiring
Greg Kerr,
inside counsel attorneys.
The other attorneys that would have a role in representing the district would include Juan Pequeño, any of our transactional attorneys, Anita Lozano, Bob Galligan, and at times, in order for cost savings, we may have another associate who would bill at a lesser rate, perform.
No más de nombre,
no
más de nombre.
Our supervision.
Number 9, how do you or your firm handle it when you have to say no to a proposed course of action that the board wants to take?
Our legal advice will be rooted in the law, and so we will provide the law to the board or to anyone that's asking for a certain course of action. All we can do is provide the information, provide what the law says, give our recommendation, our best recommendation, and then the decision will be left up to the decision makers. But we do it diplomatically, we do it professionally, with no intent to demean anyone, but at the same time be very upfront about what our legal position is.
Number 10, what is your success rate when it comes to handling special education cases?
Yes, and Greg Kerr is our special ed attorney, and he's not with us this evening, but what I can tell you is that we have worked in districts where the district has their own special ed counsel. When we have performed the special education services, legal services for the districts, our clients have noticed, one, an efficiency about what we do when it comes to special education work in terms of cost savings and getting to the bottom of the legal issue. If there are problems, we address the problems. If there are not problems, then we hold fast and stern.
Number 11, how would you describe yourself as a person?
I think I'm compassionate, I'm caring, I'm thoughtful, I would hope to be, and deliberate.
And number 12, what is a good weakness?
Good weakness. there are times, many times, and I know that my colleagues share some of this sometimes when, we can't just leave work at the office. Yes, we're not billing when we're at home. However, the thoughts remain into the evening, into the weekend. How can we address these legal concerns? And so I think it's just being conscientious and not being able necessarily to cut off professional time from time that's spent away from the office.
Thank you, Mr. Perez. Appreciate it. That concludes the presentation.
Thank you all.
Preach. Pequeño, 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 pequeño. I gotta get a fire. Pequeño, pequeño. That's what I want. Pequeño shouldn't have worn those mustache glasses. That's it. I want pequeño.
The next presenter is the law office of Jerry Linen.
No, pequeño. Next to la central.
Ready, Mr. Lina? Thank you. If I may. Good afternoon. My name is Miguel Salinas. I am the staff attorney for the school district. With me is Rosario Peña. She's the purchasing director for the district. I will be the moderator for tonight's proceedings, and Ms. Peña will be the timekeeper. Before we begin, will you please introduce yourself?
Thank you, Mr. Salinas. Thank you to the board. My name is Jerry Linan. I am an attorney from here in Brownsville. I've practiced my entire legal career here in Brownsville, although I've tried cases all over the country, federal cases, and
Mr. Linan, if you will save it for the formal presentation, just wanted to name it.
Okay.
Apologize. Thank you. The board has allotted 30 minutes for this proceeding. The first 10 minutes is to allow you to make your presentation. The next 20 minutes is reserved for you to answer 12 questions submitted by the Board of Trustees. I will read the questions to you for your response. Each question will be evaluated and scored from 1 to 4, with 1 the lowest and 4 the highest. For both segments of the presentation, Ms. Peña will give you a warning when there is 1 minute left. Please be advised, time limits will be strictly enforced, and if you run out of time before answering each question, you will not be scored for those left unanswered. So please keep the 20 minutes in mind when you are answering. If you need me to repeat a question during the question and answer period, let me know and I will re-ask it. Do you have any questions before you begin your presentation?
Hello, sir.
If not, you may begin, sir.
Okay. My name is Jerry Linan. I've been practicing my whole legal career here in Brownsville. I went through BISD, my entire school career through here in Brownsville. I wasn't here when the 100 years started, but it has been a while. I went to Ebony Heights Elementary, which is currently Robert L. Martin, Stowe Junior High, and Pace High School. Upon graduation from law school, I returned here to Brownsville, and I've been practicing ever since. I have trial experience in the areas of EEOC and ADA in the federal court, as well as in the Texas Commission of Human Rights, which is the state counterpart for
Ya convenció mal este dude. Yeah.
I also have experience with construction law. I've defended construction cases to a jury here in Cameron County, Texas. The majority of my practice is here in Cameron County, Texas, but I will from time to time go to other counties throughout the state. And as I said, I have tried federal cases in other states of the United States. What I think I have to offer to the court is that I am going to be the advisor for the board. And as the advisor for the board, you will be able to draw on my experience and my knowledge of the education code, of the application of courts to opinions and so forth for any statutes that may be coming up that aren't currently in place. I am always involved in trying to anticipate ahead of time in order to advise my clients as to what may be coming down the road.
Jerry.
In this instance, I think an area of interest
got
for the
that.
board might be what's going to happen with transgender litigation as it comes up in the future. There may be issues with transgender facilities, bathrooms, showers, locker rooms.
Not sure.
And on the other side of it, there may be
He's not prepared.
transgender issues with participation.
I think that
with extracurricular activities.
when they
with
get to the
athletics,
question in regards to
the
school
court
law
will
attorney,
surely be addressing many of those
experience, very minimal.
those applications, and eventually the legislative bodies will start passing laws one way or the other.
Right?
But I think it would be important for the school board to
Love you,
be
Baba.
informed as to everything
Thank you.
that not only exists in the law, but to have a frank discussion and preparation as to what may come down in the future. None of us has a crystal ball, and we won't know for sure until the courts decide. And I see that this is likely going to go to the Supreme Court of the United States, whether it goes from a state of Texas or some other state court or some federal path to the Supreme Court of the United States. When you have me as your school board trustee, you will get me. You won't get any other attorneys from my firm or anybody else. We will get to know each other, and it's not going to be a situation where we have an attorney free to come to the meetings this night because the other attorneys are busy with other school boards or with other meetings. For everything that the school board asks of me, it will be done by me. Anything involving advised executive sessions and so forth will be, the answers will come from me. And I think in that regard, I am unique as to what I offer to the school board. And I feel very comfortable in being able to fulfill that responsibility and that duty of candor to my clients, which is you all.
Thank you, Mr. Litan. You ready to begin the question and answer part of the presentation?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah, it's
Number
really
one.
good. I love
Given
it.
the close working relationship between the board of trustees and the board attorney, what is your opinion regarding the board attorney monetarily contributing to the campaign of school board trustees and the potential conflicts of interest?
My opinion is that it shouldn't be done. It's not a violation of conflict of interest, and it's not a violation of the canons of ethics. But there are standards that are applicable to trustees, which are not necessarily crossing the legal boundaries. But there's a legal standard of appearance of impropriety.
Yes.
And I feel that it would be impossible to avoid the appearance of impropriety when a trustee is receiving financial benefits from somebody that is advising them. Not only because of that individual, but there may be individuals on the board that are not receiving similar benefits as to contributions, or not receiving them in the same amount. So for me, I would not participate in donating campaign contributions to the board.
Number two, do you and or any associates from the firm you're representing have a pending lawsuit against the district, employees, or any board member that could be conceived as a conflict?
No.
No.
What unique quality do you and your firm have that separates you from your competitors?
I like Jerry. He's nice.
Well, I touched on this a second ago.
Not a good,
I have
wouldn't be a
lot
good
of
board
experience where I've done the litigation with the federal courts and the state courts in issues that would come up with the school board. The examples are cited: ADA and EEOC cases, Equal Employment Opportunity Commission cases. I've tried those in federal court. I've won those cases in federal court, won them by summary judgment and by directed verdict. I also have a jury experience in state court in the construction law. And
he's a nice guy. Jerry's a nice guy.
Torts, immunities, Chapter 71.
Would he do well as
that would be applied to the
as a board attorney?
And so
Unfortunately,
my advice to you as my clients would be directly based on those experiences, balancing all the complexities that follow litigation.
Number 4, how many years of experience in school law does a lead attorney that will be assigned to BISD have? If more than one lead attorney, please state the name and their years of experience practicing school law.
I am the only one that's going to be handling this, and the school law I've handled, I guess I wouldn't characterize it as experience, but I've tried a number of cases. The first one I tried was in the 90s, in the late 90s probably. It did not involve BISD, but it was another school board.
Number 5, what percent of your legal work, aside from your legal fee, is outsourced?
None.
Number 6, BISD has a high volume of contracts. Therefore, attention to detail is critical. Not all submitted applications in the RFQ process were filled out correctly. Did your firm fill all the criteria for the RFQ application process? How would your firm guarantee that all contracts are filled out and reviewed to the highest standard?
You just have to roll up your sleeves, and you just have to go through them, very slowly, very actively, reading everything, the contracts. Human error is part of life for everybody, so the only way to catch errors is to just go slow and to go line by line, word by word, and make sure that the intent of what is written in the contract not only is still corrected, but you're getting the correct information.
Yeah, I think he
Number
messed up
7,
with the contract.
what school districts have you or your firm represented that have the size, scope, and complexity of legal issues
None.
that Brownsville ISD has?
None.
Specifically, name the districts and describe the similarities.
None.
I have not represented any other school districts.
Number 8, specifically, name the attorneys from your firm who will personally perform and supervise the district's legal work. What role will be played, if any, by other attorneys, law clerks, and legal assistants?
I will be the only attorney handling the BISD school work. The only work that is done by legal staff subordinates is typing, clerical work, secretarial work.
Number 9, how do you or your firm handle it when you have to say no to a proposed course of action that the board wants to take?
Well, like any client, you would have to go over the reasons why something is either not advisable, not legally possible. As I mentioned earlier, there may be appearances that would have to be given consideration to basically be the insight for any board that any action the board is contemplating.
Number 10, what is your success rate when it comes to handling special education cases?
None.
I would say 100%.
Why?
Number 11, how would you describe yourself as a person?
I would describe myself in the way that many other people describe me, as being a good listener, being able to be thorough and thoughtful in things that I do, not only in work but in my personal life, being even tempered.
I'm craving Chinese food.
And being dedicated to everything that I apply myself to.
And number 12, what is a good weakness?
A good weakness, I guess, is something that you can work on yourself to improve. I guess, like everybody, there are weaknesses that can be addressed, and a good weakness would be something that you can learn from and can be open to.
Thank you, Mr. Yunan. That concludes your presentation.
Thank you again for your time.
Yeah, nope. Sorry, Jerry.
The final presenter is a law firm of Farrah Law Group, PLC.
Yeah, no.
The last one.
Oh,
Are you ready? Are you ready?
yes.
Okay. Good
Oh, she's
afternoon.
pretty.
My name is Miguel Salinas. I'm the staff attorney for the school district. With me is Rosario Peña, the purchasing director for the district. I will be the moderator for tonight's proceeding, and Ms. Peña will be the timekeeper. Thank you for being here tonight. Before you begin your presentation, will you please introduce yourself and your team present here with you?
Yes. Hi, good evening. My name is Alyssa Romero, and this is George Farah. We're Farah Law Group.
Thank you.
Yes, they should.
Ms. Romero. The board has allotted 30 minutes for this proceeding. The first 10 minutes is to allow you to make your presentation. The next 20 minutes is reserved for you to answer 12 questions submitted by the Board of Trustees. I will read the questions to you for your response. Each question will be evaluated and scored from 1 to 4, with 1 the lowest and 4 the highest. For both segments of the presentation, Ms. Peña will give you a warning when there is 1 minute left. Please be advised, time limits will be strictly enforced, and if you run out of time before answering each question, you will not be scored for those left unanswered. So please keep the 20 minutes in mind when you answer. If you need me to repeat a question during the question and answer portion of the presentation, let me know. I will re-ask it. Do you have any questions for me?
I do not.
If not, are you ready to begin?
Yes, I am.
You may start your presentation.
She's pretty.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having us here today to present. First of all, I want to say how empowering it is to see a board primarily composed of women. But I do want to thank you for the opportunity for allowing all law firms to apply and being transparent and giving us the opportunity to present to you tonight. It is an important position, and I'm just happy to be here. It is a little bittersweet for me, I have to be honest, because this is my hometown. I'm a Brownsville girl. I'm BISD bred, attended Morningside, Oliveta Middle School, and graduated from Hannah High School. So it is pretty cool to be here. Thank you again. Okay, let me go through here. I like to describe our firm. We prepared this presentation to give you a little brief summary of our firm and why I believe we'd be a good choice here at Brownsville ISD. You do have our RFQ response. It's pretty lengthy. I just wanted to highlight some more important points.
Pequeño.
So I like to describe our law firm as big city resources with local, close and personal roots. Like I said, I'm a product of Brownsville ISD. Brownsville ISD did give me the foundation to leave, attend my dream university, UT Austin, go to law school right after, and I made it a priority to come back and work here in the Rio Grande Valley and raise a family here. As you know, this past year has been extremely tough. It's affected everybody. Everybody. It did not discriminate. And we as a firm took it upon ourselves to be innovative, to adapt to change. We didn't want to sit around and wait for this COVID-19 to pass at the expense of our clients. So we invested. We invested our time and our money into technology. We wanted to make sure that not attending hearings, not attending in-person meetings did not affect our clients. We needed to maintain that representation and our ethical obligation to our clients. And we took that seriously. So we invested in research tools, email management systems, case management cloud-based systems, billing programs, answering services. What does that mean? That means I like to call ourselves, let me use this pointer. I don't know how to use this. I like to call ourselves a mobile law firm. That doesn't mean we don't have offices, because we'll get to that. A mobile law firm means we can practice law on our cell phone, on our iPad. It's 2021. We make it a point to use technology.
Yeah, you lost me.
Technology is only going to get more and more advanced.
Sorry.
Elon Musk here. It's going to keep increasing. We have to meet the demands of technology.
Sorry.
And we don't want to fall behind. So
Pequeño.
Invested a lot of money to be able to have our cell phone and our iPad
and be able to pull files from anywhere in the world in our cloud-based system. We can do legal research on our phone from anywhere in the world. There's no more, oh, let me go back to my office to research that, I'll get back to you. I could pull it up. We have the resources. Our firm is a firm believer of technology, like I said. Every attorney is equipped with the most advanced technology, phones. We can be reached at any time, and we're available at all times. So let's talk about our offices. We have a fully staffed and operational office here in Brownsville. It's down the street, it's about a mile away, right across from Benavides Driving School. I made it a priority when I joined this firm late 2013 to open the Brownsville office. That was my mission. And in 2015, we made that happen. We have a fully staffed and fully functional office. So that means Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5:30, sometimes a little later, you can walk in and you'll be greeted by staff. There's always somebody answering the door. We're opening the door for you now with COVID. We have some restrictions, but answering the phone, you'll always get a person. That's important to us. Another feature that we are very proud about is transparent billing, especially with our billable clients, which entities are our billable clients, as you know. We need to be transparent. We need to be accountable to you all, and in turn accountable to the community. Who foots the bill? Taxpayers. They deserve to see how their resources are being spent. And so I'm very proud of the invoices that we produce for our clients. We've invested in a very advanced invoicing system. It's a professional form. It is down to the 0.25 second, super detailed. If you want to know what we did yesterday, you'll see it. More importantly, as you know, it's public information. The community can see it. Nothing is hidden. They will see where their resources are being spent and how every single month. We are accessible at all times, like I said, with the technology. We are extremely accessible.
Yeah, on your phone.
I'll get to it a little later.
Pequeño.
We have 6 attorneys. We're all accessible, equally accessible to our clients. And we're growing. You know, we supply and demand. The more cases we sign, the more clients we get. We believe in investing in our clients. And how do we invest in our clients? By hiring the staff that we need to support those clients.
What I find most amazing,
attorney, more support staff.
What I find most amazing is
we cater to the needs of the community with an understanding of
poor speakers most of these people
we
are.
Represented
except Pequeño. I like Pequeño.
Rio Grande Valley. We're familiar with the demographics. More so, I am part of this demographic. I walked those halls and I sat in those classrooms. My family still walks those halls and sits, or now behind a screen. Hopefully soon we'll get back full force. You know, my mother taught here for over 30 years till her retirement. I understand the demographic.
Pequeño.
And the unique challenges that demographic may bring here as a border town. As the largest school district south of San Antonio, we understand that. We offer proactive legal advice. What does that mean? That means we don't wait around when we see a potential issue. We don't sit back and wait till somebody calls us all the time, or if we see that it can be an issue, we take action quickly.
No, bad.
Whether it's, you know, a quick meeting, a quick phone call, we take action quickly because we found we stop the fire before it spreads.
No, you don't want another board member attorney.
Sit around and wait for it to explode. Litigation, that can be prevented, some of it. And we are ethical and professional. Reputation is everything to us, and professionalism is everything to us.
Yeah, but you can't speak, Mika. Sorry.
Going back to our office locations, we're 5 fully staffed office locations: Brownsville, Edinburgh, Houston, El Paso, and our newest one, Las Cruces, New Mexico. We have a team currently of 6 experienced attorneys. What does that mean? That means we don't need to outsource any work. We are all capable of handling all matters that come before us. That also means we're able to collaborate with each other. I can reach out to any 5 attorneys and they can reach out to me, vice versa. It's a collaborative effort. We work as a team to represent and serve our clients. We have 19 total non-attorney full-time employees. that help with the day-to-day receptionist, answering the phone calls, taking messages, making sure we return messages, and we invest in the communities we work in. What does that mean? We don't just sponsor little leagues, kickball teams. Yes, we do that. I enjoy doing that. All my little cousins are on all those teams. They call me all the time. We love it. This means wherever we do work, we buy a building.
Buy a
or we
boogie.
rent a building. We hire local residents of that community as employees. We employ people. That's what that means. We truly believe that. We just opened Las Cruces, New Mexico, because we started picking up some cases over there. We bought an office. We're going to invest. We give back to the community that gives back to us. We are trial lawyers.
1 minute.
Okay, we're trial lawyers with extensive experience in both state and federal court. We practice in state and federal court routinely. We have over a decade of experience in representing school districts. Okay, we understand our role as a board attorney. We are a reflection of you as a board. We're here to advise you so that you guys can make an informed decision in the best interest of the school district. We're not here to cast a bad light because that's a reflection of you. And we take that very seriously, and we definitely don't take it lightly. And we are transparent in all that we do. We work collaboratively with everybody. We have great communication. We think it's very important to work with administration, to get along with administration in the day-to-day operations. That's how a school district succeeds, and that's very important. We serve all of you, everybody in this room. We may not be elected officials, but we have that same ethical duty to the community.
Time.
Thank you.
Really bad. Sorry, Hannah, girl. She's just reading from slides. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready to start the question and answer part,
Yes.
Ms. Romero? Okay,
Can we both answer, or is it just?
sure.
Okay.
It's at your discretion.
Okay, thank you.
Question number 1. Given the close working relationship between the Board of Trustees and the Board Attorney, what is your opinion regarding the Board Attorney monetarily contributing to the campaign of school board trustees and the potential conflicts of interest?
Thank you for that question. Inevitably, it's an issue that comes up and that has to be dealt with. We believe in transparency, as Alyssa has stated several times. And if we do contribute to any campaign of any school board members, it is open, obvious, and the entire public will know about it. But we have contributed before, and if asked to, we will also do so in the future.
Oh!
Number 2, do you and/or any associates from the firm you're representing have a pending lawsuit against the district, employees, or any board member that could be conceived as a conflict?
No.
Number 3, what unique quality do you and your firm have that separates you from your competitors?
I believe a quality that we have is, I can consider us a mid-sized firm at this point. We are just the right size to where you will be familiar with all 6 if needed. We're not just bringing George or myself down because that's all you'll see and that's all you'll deal with, and we only come to present and show face. What you see is what you get, and I think that really separates us, as well as the passion. To be honest, this presentation is very, it tugs on my heartstrings a little bit because this is my community and it's really important. All my clients are important, but this one tugs a little at the heartstrings.
Bad answer.
Number 4, how many years of experience in school law does a lead attorney that will be assigned to BISD have? If more than one lead attorney, please state the names and their years of service and their years of experience practicing school law.
My name is George Farah, and I've been practicing school law for 11 years.
And Alyssa Romero, I am on my 8th year practicing school law.
Number 5, what % of your legal work, aside from your legal fee, is outsourced?
Is this for school law? Is that correct?
Yes.
None of it. We handle all in-house, unless directed by the board.
Number 6, BISD has a high volume of contracts. Therefore, attention to detail is critical. Not all submitted applications in the RFQ process were filled out correctly. Did your firm fulfill all the criteria for the RFQ application process? How would your firm guarantee that all contracts are filled out and reviewed to the highest standard?
I believe, yes, you did fill it out. It's attention to detail. Can you follow up on your second question?
Not all submitted applications in the process were filled out correctly. Did your firm fulfill all the criteria for the process? How would your firm guarantee that all contracts are filled out and reviewed to the highest standard?
Attention to detail, review. Not quickly looking over, taking the time to really review it, every single document that comes before us.
May I answer part of that also?
Yes, sir.
Yep. We absolutely filled out the RFQ response correctly. And we have a system internally where the one attorney will review the contract and we'll have a second attorney do a double review to make sure that it's accurate and it's in the best interest of the school district. And we do not charge twice for that. We'll just charge for one attorney reviewing the contract.
Number 7, what school districts have you or your firm represented that have the size, scope, and complexity of legal issues that Brownsville ISD has?
None.
Specifically, name the districts and describe the similarities.
Well, this is the largest school district south of San Antonio, so we've mainly represented school districts here in the Rio Grande Valley. So not as large as Brownsville, but we have represented, I think the largest ones and very complex is Don ISD. We were there for several years. They have a lot of complex issues that we've seen it all. We've handled it the day-to-day things pretty well, I believe. And another large one would be Rio Grande City CISD. We were there for several years as well, I think on and off, if I'm not mistaken, 2013 on and off, or 2014 on and off. It's similar. These are, border demographics and challenging, community outreach and community participation. We've dealt with all that in the different contracts, and it's definitely not as large as Brownsville, of course. This is the largest one, but we've handled some pretty complex issues.
Number 8, specifically, name the attorneys from your firm who will personally perform and supervise the district's legal work. What role will be played, if any, by other attorneys, law clerks, and legal assistants?
That will be myself, Alyssa Romero, who is stationed here in Brownsville down the street, as well as Mr. Farah, who routinely practices here. We have 4 other attorneys aside from us, and they will partake when needed. Again, it's a collaborative effort between the firm or when asked by this board. Our law clerks and our receptionists, our support staff really assist in the day-to-day, make our lives easier, copies, answering phone calls. It's a collaborative effort between our firm.
He did very much,
How do you or your
very
firm
quick.
handle it when you have to say no to a proposed course of
She
action?
did say that
the
at
board
some
wants to
time.
take?
No is a strong word. We provide options, and what I typically say to our boards and our clients, there's aggressive options, there's conservative options.
I agree.
And we'll always recommend what we think the best option for the district is. And now, if it does come to a point where they want to take a route that's an absolute no, well, as we always say, our law license is more important than any one client. So we'll say, no, we can't do that.
Number 10, what is your success rate when it comes to handling special education cases?
A watcher.
Success rate, I don't know how I can answer the success rate, but what I can tell you is that we've handled several special education matters, and we've been able in most of these situations to be able to work a very reasonable solution between the school district and the parents. And I can't think of any that have turned badly that we've been involved in.
Number 11, how would you describe yourself as a person?
Hannah Girl.
Myself, speaking for myself, I believe I am hardworking, motivated, energized, independent, and a hard worker. A hard worker, definitely.
Oh my Lord.
Just one person.
You have time.
we're honest, fair, reasonable, and you're just gonna get, you know, true transparency from us. And we're good people. Everyone we hire at our firm is good people, and we make sure that that's one of the criteria we ask for from our staff.
And finally, what is a good weakness?
A good weakness. Oh, good weakness. Working too hard. There's a lot. That's subjective. Let me see. A good weakness.
No, Hannah
Working too hard,
girl.
getting, I guess this can be considered weak to some, passionate about something and really sometimes losing sleep. That's a kind of a good weakness when you're, really believe in something and care about something.
How can these people be attorneys and not be able to speak?
Right is the right thing to do.
I think a good weakness that we have in our firm is sometimes we let our job and our clients supersede our personal needs, and we really take that to heart. I don't know if you ask my wife, she'll say that's a big weakness, but that's definitely a good weakness, I think.
That concludes the presentation. Thank you, Ms. Romero. Thank you, Mr. Farah.
Thank you.
Oh, that was bad.
At this time, sir, there are no public speakers have signed up for public audience.
At this time, we're going to go ahead and move to recess.
Recess? Why recess? Guys, that is going to be it. They are going into recess. I'm going to guess that they're going to go in to have some lunch, some dinner. Guys, we'll be back tonight at 9 p.m. and we'll discuss the presentation. And also, if between now and 9 p.m. In this hour, guys, if they do come to a decision, guys, then I will surely will talk about it at 9 p.m. But as of right now, guys, that was the presentation in regards to the attorneys out there. Again, I mean, outside of all joking, I like Pequeño, their law firm, and I like them law firm because, I mean, the guy could speak. Guys from Brownsville, I mean, they had their stuff together, guys. I don't trust O'Hanlon. I think O'Hanlon would be bad for Brownsville. He is a Gutierrez attorney. Walsh, related to Daniela, don't care for him too much. Their presentation was good. So far, that was the other one. But Salazar, out. No trae parque el vato. Minerva's going to fight for him. Drew Brown is going to fight for him. Jessica Gonzalez is going to fight for him. If Atasaka can get one more vote, he's in, guys. He's in. That's simple. Jerry Linan, great guy. Good attorney, guys. Great guy. Doesn't stand a chance in hell. The other attorney, Pequeño is the right choice, 100%. And Hannah girl, sorry. Guys, again, I'm just amazed that they have issues in regards to speaking in public. Guys, you're an attorney. You should have absolutely no qualms in regards to speaking in public. Even Baltasar Salazar was like hyperventing out there. Guys, we'll be back at 9 o'clock, and we'll have a little bit more insight. Hopefully by then we'll have some information in regards. Hopefully by then they'll come back from recess. We don't know. God bless. Guys, 9 o'clock. I'll see you here at 9 o'clock. God bless.